Good evening, Cubes of the Cash. Gary B, the Casual Comic Guy here, and joining me just like every single Tuesday, we got my good buddy, Steve the Voice White. Steve, how the hell are you doing tonight, sir?
Boys.
Uh-oh.
We got Alberta Clipper, 2 of them coming in. Yep, we got hammered pretty good. The second one's going to hit tonight.
Ooh. And, of course, joining us this evening is none other than comic artist, Mr. Mike Rooth. Mike, Uncouth Rooth. How you doing tonight, Mike? It's great to meet you face-to-face finally.
Thank you. Yeah, nice to meet you as well. I'm doing great. No, it's like Steve was saying, it's a chilly one up here for a few days. I did some groceries today, and I had a bit of a skating. All the sidewalks are a skating rink right now, but it's okay. We survived.
Yeah, we're getting that here in Rochester. So, like I said, we're not far from you guys. So,
true.
You know, we're getting your sloppy winter seconds. You bastards always. You're supposed to be the friendly neighbors to the north, and you always pass us the winter garbage. I don't get.
Well, we are. We're sharing with you. Okay.
That's the wrong type of sharing, Steve.
Come on up. We'll give you a Timmy's. Get you some Timbits. You'll be fine.
Right. And so what we're doing tonight is we're just going to interview Mike Rooth. We're going to talk about art. We're going to talk about Conan the Barbarian, something we all share. We're going to say hello to a few people here. Ruby G, Calm Cool Collective.
Hey,
good to see you, Ruben, one of the best supporters on the YouTubes, especially of my channel since day one. Steve the Voice White, my co-host. Digger Jim, my Thursday host. Great to see you, Jim.
Hey, guys.
And we got Brad from Canada as well. Good to see you, Brad. Hope you're doing well, sir. Glad to see that you're in the show and they don't have you out working. And you can have my weather if you want it. No. I'm trying to leave it in Canada.
He's out in Alberta. He's the one that delivered the stuff we're getting tonight.
Oh, yeah.
He's out in the oil fields.
And then as people are getting their notifications, we're going to see people start popping in. But I don't like to interrupt my guests. So I will give them a tip of the hat as they come in, maybe mention them when there's a moment. But it's all about you tonight, Mike.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate that.
Of course, my first exposure to you was my buddy Ken Wheaton. And my comic shop knows me. I'm the Conan guy. So they get anything in Conan, I always get dibs on it. And it's always, Gary, do you want this before it goes out to the general public, which is I appreciate so much. And I'm sure they do too, because I spend a lot of money on what they find. But my first exposure is Ken's like, hey, I'm going over to Toronto, I think it was, for Fan Expo or whatever it was that was going on there at the time. He goes, I'm gonna see Mike Rooth there. He did a Conan cover. I'm like, who's Mike Rooth? And he goes, well, he did this cover. And he goes, are you interested in buying one? I go, well, let me give you some money.
Yeah.
Goes,
would be yeah.
You want him to sign it? I'm like, yeah, I want him to sign it. So I actually get to say thank you, Mike Rooth, for the nice for Gary B. Rooth.
Oh,
and you got a cool signature, man. I like the little dots above the T. It's just
thanks. That's a little tribute to Motorhead. So,
but it's nice. I like it. It's that's a nice signature.
Well, I appreciate that. Now, the thing about that magazine was I had to dig through every copy that we had to find you a decent one, because the reality is most of that entire print run, it was only a 500 print run, was wrecked by by a dull blade. So it was an unfortunate thing where every single issue, every single copy had a little bit of fluff on the top right and top and bottom top left and bottom left cover. Just a little bit of like a burr for where the blade didn't quite make the chop. So it kind of was a bummer because we didn't get one perfect copy in the whole box. And so, I just kind of did the best. And that's a manufacturer's error. So hopefully it's not,
it's beautiful.
Oh, I appreciate it.
And that's kind of been, unfortunately for Titan Comics and the Savage Sword, a lot of the print runs have been like that. Whatever's happening at the printer, like we've had even at the comic shop when we're getting them in, it's been tough some weeks that they come out to get a couple decent copies out of it.
Yeah,
for sure.
The corners are messed up. I know, I've had that too.
Or when we got our box in, I was so heartbroken because there was every copy. Some of them were really bad. Like some of them were just straight up torn and shined and just smashed.
Now, what happens with that? Do you get a refund or anything, or is
so we worked out a deal. Yeah, we didn't want to reprint the book because just the time, the cost of shipping it up here and everything was brutal, and there's a lot of things like that came into it. So they basically kind of gave me credit for my next exclusive because I had planned on doing another one anyway because I just want to work on Conan all the time, even though I have to kick the door down myself to do it right. But
and we're going to talk about how you got that exclusive, but I do want to talk to you a little bit about Conan. So what was your first exposure to Conan the Barbarian?
Probably like the comics that I loved when I was a little kid. My first memories are reading, like the Sal Buscema era Hulks and Fantastic Four and The Thing and Marvel 2-in-1 was my favorite comic. Oh, and there was always there was always ads in there that showed, sometimes there'd be like an ad for a Conan or something like that. And then I had an uncle who had comics, and I think he had a few issues of that laying around. I had a neighbor down the street that, he always had the cool horror movies and the cool stuff that was for older kids. But he had a stack of these old Savage swords, and so I kind of dug into those, and it was just. So I was probably like, I don't know, between 8 and 11 in those times. My first experience with Conan and Red Sonja too, like lots of Red Sonja.
Oh yeah, especially the Frank Thorne era. Unbelievable. The Frank Bruner era. Plus, one of my favorite Red Sonja artists who never gets enough credit for, and she deserves it, Mary Wilshire.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
She's one of the unsung heroes to me of Red Sonja.
Yep. I would 100% agree with that, man. I love that run. I love that Red Sonja run in the 80s when she had the blue tunic on and the yellow sash.
That was the Mary Wilshire.
Yeah, I love that stuff. I thought that was so great,
And some really good stories in that run.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love that run.
Yeah, that opening annual kind of double-size issue 1 that's got like that Walter Simonson with the cross sword cover. That was amazing. Amazing.
I think I had that cover 8 or 9 times.
Yeah, I buy it every time I see it.
I'm terrible. Whenever I see old Conan or Red Sonja, if it's affordable, I buy it. I don't care how many copies I have.
Yeah. I bought this the other day just because I was I always check the bin for for Savage Sword books, but I was at a shop in Ottawa and I had I saw this one here. And I know I own this somewhere in my archives, but I saw it again, but it's got that great Bill Sienkiewicz cover.
Oh yeah.
There was something about this issue, like it was just it had a backstory about this like executioner guy who was getting tired from taking the heads off of all these prisoners, and Conan comes in and sees one of his friends as one of the prisoners, and this prisoner has some influence, and so he basically asks for a favor. Conan asks to save his life, and the king won't grant it, but he's like, I'll give you one favor. And so he chooses Conan to be the guy who beheads him because he knows Conan will do it with one stroke.
Right.
But the executioner's tired. He's taking 3
It's going to take a few hacks.
It was just a great little short story. It was a Sal Buscema story, too.
And that was some of the great things about the Savage Sword run, though, is you had those great backstories in there. That a lot of great call stories, Solomon Kane, Red Sonja, plus, and we're going to bring it up later, but other characters as well.
Yeah.
Now, I'm sure, like when you were young, like me, when you were reading the Savage Sword, it almost felt like you were getting away with something, right? Because you knew it was more adult, and it just made you love it that much more. But if it wasn't for Roy Thomas in Marvel Comics back then, I don't know if I would have found Robert E. Howard. Right. I found Robert E. Howard because of Conan back then.
Yeah. And
those comics and those magazines led me to Robert E. Howard. I've been a lifelong reader ever since. Mm-hmm. And of Robert E. Howard, I still buy when I see the pulps, and if I can get a pulp for $2 or $3, I don't care if I got it 6 times, I'll buy it again. Because usually those pulps are like $15 to $20 or more. And I don't care who the cover artist is. Of course, you prefer the Frazetta, but I'll buy any of the old pulps from the Ace or the Lancer. It doesn't matter.
They all had their charm, man. They were all kind of neat. They're all kind of beautiful in their way. I have a mixed bag of those different pulps. Like a fan sent me a box. He's like, hey, you're a Conan guy. And he just, can I get your address? And I'm always like, I guess I'll give you my address. And then this box of Conan books shows up, and I'm like, oh man, I've always wanted to read these little. Some of them aren't the best, but you know what? It's there's always some pure Robert E. Howard mixed into those volumes, right? So it made it nice. So yeah, there's a Motorhead vest behind me. That's cool.
Yep.
That's an old denim,
sweet.
Old sweet denim vest. Yeah, pretty rad. Yeah.
Or as what we call them up here in Canada, those are the Canadian tuxedos.
That's it.
And also too, what I think is what you're a part of right now that's important. We were just talking about legacy, right? And how those 50 years ago, those stories and those comics brought us to Robert E. Howard. Now you're part of that over at Titan because you've started working on some of the Conan stuff. But everything that's happening now is bringing a whole new generation of readers to these incredible stories. And I think that's one of the most important things about what's going on right now with Conan and the creators working with Conan, because they got such a good system over there. They're bringing new artists to Conan, like you over there, even though you've been a working artist, but now you're doing Conan.
Mm-hmm.
Your Spang and Fear was great, and we'll get into that. I just read it again before we even started the show and just love it. But I mean, what's it feel like to be a part of this legacy that's bringing a whole new generation of young readers and still shepherding in the old ones back that are rediscovering Conan again?
You know, it's hard to kind of put into words, to be honest with you. I don't even know where to begin, but like when I was young, people would say, what do you want to do? If you got into comics, like what was something you'd love to do? If you could be a comic book artist, what were some things you'd love to do? And I never imagined I would ever be good enough to be able to work on a Conan story. So I always would say, man, I would just love to get a pinup in Savage Sword of Conan one day. Like that was kind of like a goal, And then very early in my career, I was at a show in Toronto, and it was Conan was in the hands of Dark Horse in those days. And it was amazing stuff, as always. And I remember just the weirdest thing. Like I was kind of new on the scene, and I was kind of hanging out at my table, and I had a bunch of prints, and there were some Conan prints in there, and there was some other just fan art stuff that I had done. And it was all black and white work, because back then I was working purely black and white with a brush and just, kind of trying to do a different style. And this fellow walks up to my table, and he had his badge turned around, so I couldn't see his name. He looked like kind of an official person. He had a bald head, just a very like friendly guy.
In the stance, right? The way he's like prowling around. And people that are official, they're prowling differently than a fan prowls.
It was weird. Like we started out just talking like fans were talking, and then he basically flipped through my book. He's like, "Listen, Mike," he's like, "you got a lot of great Conan pieces in here." He's like, what do you want to do? Why are you here in Artist Alley? What do you want to do? And I said, I'll be honest with you, man. I've got a tiny little dream. I would just love to get a pinup in Conan one day. And there's like a 5-second pause, and he throws his head back laughing, and he goes, "Well, I think I can help you with that." And I said, "Oh, really?" He goes, "Yeah." I go, "Well, who are you?" He turned his badge around. He's like, "I'm Patrick Thorpe. I'm the editor for Conan at Dark Horse."
Wow. Serendipity right there, huh?
And it was just bananas. And so he was like, "Yeah, I'm right in the middle of this Toronto show. I know you're here, but you're busy too. So call me, give me a call on Monday. Give me a chance to get home after the show, and we'll shoot the breeze, and we'll talk about a pinup for an upcoming issue of, at the time, which was it was called Robert E. Howard's Savage Sword, I think is what the name of the book was. And it was kind of that prestige format, mini graphic novel style.
Yep.
And I did a fun piece in that, and that was my first time getting published. Conan was
what issue?
Because
Gary probably has it.
I know. I gotta look for it now.
It was issue 9.
There you go. So there you go.
It's kind of a rare one. It's kind of a hard one to find, because that series only went to, I think, 10 issues, and the last 2 issues were kind of scarce for whatever reason.
Yeah, low print runs.
Yeah, so I only have one copy myself that my store was able to get for me. We thought it was going to be in issue 8, and my store ordered a box of issue 8s. And we got the book, and we flipped through, and was like, "Oh no, I'm not in here!" And the guy in the old shop,
it's like, what the hell?
He was mad. He was like, "Oh, we can't do anything with these books." So I said, "Can you order me one number 9? Because I know it's going to be a number 9."
Right.
So that worked out okay. And then shortly after that, I ended up getting a call to do a cover for. It was actually, weirdly enough, Jim Zub's first Conan story with Gale. the Conan and Red Sonja crossover with Dynamite and Dark Horse. It was a shop in Buffalo, 1811 Comics. Actually, they're awesome shop, and he wanted to do a Conan cover with me. So it was a real thrill. So that kind of that happened in the span of about a year. I suddenly had these 2 Conan covers.
I had that series too. I wonder if I have one of your covers already I didn't know it.
It would be a variant cover for a store, so it's possible. I think I've only got 1 or 2 copies of that myself, but yeah, there would have been like 500 or something.
Gary's going to be hunting after this show tonight.
Now, how in this exclusive game?
Yeah,
getting exclusive covers. What's the process? What's the process for that? How does someone go, oh, we want you for an exclusive? Are you shopping yourself around going, or is it just like, I know this person and we're talking, we're friends, and he wants to do a cover. I'm a good way for him to get it done. He's a good way for me to get exposure. We'll meet in the middle and do it.
Yeah, like that's kind of what it grew into in some cases. Like for me, there's nothing better or more satisfying than getting hired directly from the company, of course. Like that's the best feeling there is. But after I had done a couple of Conan things, I started working around 2019 with a company up here in Canada called Big Country Comics, who wanted to do an exclusive every month. And we had a bit of success with some of the first ones we did, like my first Turtles cover we did and some different things. But I really wanted to do a Conan story. And Marvel had the reins for Conan, but Marvel's costs for doing exclusives are incredibly high. Like it's beyond the scope of like what one shop can typically afford to do. So, but the interesting thing was at the time, Ablaze had they had the rights to the Sumerian stories, the Glenat publishing stuff from France. They were able to print them in English. I'm not sure exactly.
They just weren't allowed to call them Conan.
That's right. So I got a gig doing a cover for the Red Nails series.
I may have that too.
Yeah, I remember that one.
I did issues 1 and 2 of Red Nails, the covers, and I had to follow very closely to the. It's not sure, probably a bit of a glare, but that was the store variant for.
Nice.
And there was also an issue 2 where they're inside the temple with the red, the black column and the red nails, and he's fighting. He's in that kind of a fight pose with Valyria. I don't have a copy of that handy, but those were fun. They were cool. And then I just prayed and prayed to get a chance to do Conan again. And then when Conan left the hands of Marvel and went on to Titan, I kind of at that point said, okay, I've got to make this happen somehow. So for about a year and a half, I plagued the people at Titan Comics to just answer an email and just say, hey man, like I just said, I really want to do an exclusive. I've done exclusives with a lot of different retailers. If I had to, I would do it on my own. I'd foot that bill myself just for a chance to do something awesome for Conan. And I never got any responses. And then,
did you ever talk to Jim Zub himself, like at the cons and stuff?
Yeah, I've known Jim for quite a few years, but he's usually with this one group of artists, like in their kind of section of the show. The comic sketch folks. So I didn't really get a chance to see him too often. I'd wander by his table and shoot the breeze whenever I got a chance. And I did love his Skull Kickers, and I loved his Samurai Jack stuff that he did, and so when I knew that he was doing Conan stuff, I was like, okay, this is going to be. I got to definitely start talking to him because I had contact info from everyone at Titan, but no one was getting back to me. So I kind of started bugging Jim, like, could you he's like, oh, Mike, he's like, I've already been dropping your name in every time we have a meeting, I'm always like, get Mike Ruth through some covers. He really loves the character and he'll do some awesome stuff. So I didn't even know he was doing that. So I was just like, dude, that's so amazing.
That's Jim.
Then,
Jim's a good dude.
He's a real treasure up here, man. He's a really awesome guy. And I really do feel like Conan's in the best hands it's been in a very long time.
Yeah, because when Conan left Marvel again, I was like, and then when Titan picked it up, I'm like, oh, I'm more excited about Conan now than ever because they're not going to have any of the restrictions of the big two. They can be true to the character like they did in the 70s where, they don't have to worry about the adult themes. They can just go for it.
That's it. And they didn't have to worry about having Conan with the machine gun teaming up with the Punisher against.
Oh my God!
Like, no shade on that because I know that was a necessary part of making that a part of the universe.
And you know what's funny is I wasn't looking forward to that Savage Avengers, but that was actually one of the best complete runs run stories I've ever read. It was great from beginning to end, except for the 3 issues where they tied it into that stupid Null story. With the exception of those 3 issues, that is a tight arc, and Gary Dugan did a wonderful job writing it. And the way he ended it really epitomized that he understands Conan, because a lesser writer would have just had Conan kill him and do the savage thing, where you saw the heart of Conan, you saw the honor of Conan, and you saw, that he chose a different way.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, he gets this character.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And I think I think Conan's one of those guys who's like a lot of people's quiet favorite character. You know what I mean? Like I think a lot of people out there. I mean, that's
I never talk about him.
Yeah.
No, Gary never says a damn word about this guy.
For me, just having a chance to even touch Conan in the small capacity that I'm able to do that has been, like, honestly, the ultimate career highlight. And I've had some pretty awesome things like that I've had a chance to work on. So, I'll give you an example. You mentioned Fang and Spear. Well, I was not expecting to get that phone call. I'll be honest with you straight up. I did a cover for Conan the Barbarian 20, directly for Titan.
I'm going to have to buy that from you if you have any. I don't. Yeah,
I've got some yet. And that was a thrill. And I never thought I would get to do it again, but I was like, oh, Savage Sword. I'm going to see if I can do. I got to talk to somebody who can hook me up with a chance to do an exclusive for Savage Sword, because I really want to paint something. I want to go big like Alex Horley or Simon Bisley. Like, I want to do something big and loud. And then, the editor told me, he's like, well, this story is actually a Roy Thomas story about a were-tiger. And I'm like, oh, you're speaking my language now, So I did that cover. And then when I got the call, this will kind of give you the perspective. When I got the call to do the 12-page...
and again, guys, he's talking about this cover.
Yeah. I only don't have them in my shop because, like I said, they're all a little bit damaged. So I haven't listed them in my shop because they got a little bit of production damage on them. So now they're just kind of an in-person only thing. I let the buyer decide if that battle damage on those books is enough.
Did you give any to Gotham Central? Those guys love that stuff.
Yeah. I'm going to get some over there for sure. But when I got the call for Fang and Spear, of course I exploded. Like, my wife was here and she's just like, what the heck? And I'm like, I was losing my mind because I hadn't done any interior art since I drew my own book Dodge a few years ago with Matt Nixon, and I had done some Captain Canuck stuff about 10 years ago. But honestly, I'd never really done a lot of interior work. I used to do tons of interior work. In the early days of my career before I got into comics, I was doing educational graphic novels. So I was working with
Scholastic
and people like that. Yeah. So when I got that call for Fang and Spear, obviously I was, fully invested. Like, this is going to be amazing. And then 2 days later, I got a call to do a Batman cover.
No way. Right.
For many people, Batman cover is the highest thing you can do for a cover artist. And it is for me, for sure. It's very, very high up there. But I was still reeling from the atomic blast of having been contacted to draw a Conan story, or at least what I thought,
a Robert E. Howard story. Yeah.
The instead of being blown away by Batman, the gig, it felt more like a mosquito bite compared to the rapture.
Conan's better than Batman.
Yeah. And I did want to comment on that too, right? Because I thought your sequential art in that was amazing. Like, your story flow was great.
Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, that was it's a different set of muscles, man. It's a different set of muscles to use, and thankfully I was given a lot of time to do that story. But because the weird thing was, after Batman came in, then another job from Boom Studios came in, and then another thing came in. And the deadlines for those were sooner than my Conan deadline. So I had to devote the time into, and there's a process with some of these bigger characters like Batman and different publishers. There's a lot of back and forth and stuff that's got to get ironed out before the work is finalized. So
and you like to do your research, don't you?
I do. Yeah, I do. And Jim had sent me Spear and Fang, and then told me, the importance of this story is that it's 100 years since Spear and Fang was published. And, these characters, to my knowledge...
Not to put any pressure on you, right?
Yeah. And to my knowledge, they hadn't showed up in comics before, from what I knew. Now, I later found out, thankfully, after I had drawn my story, I found out that Richard Corbin actually did a Spear and Fang. with I think Tim Truman or something. This adapted it, and it was years ago. But it was, of course, it was Corbin doing his Corbin thing, which is amazing. I'm so glad I hadn't seen it before I drew my story, because I wouldn't have been able to draw my story after seeing his. But no, it was a fun experience. It was fun to design those characters, to work off of the original text of Robert E. Howard's story, and then Jim's redux on the script to make it fit the Serpent People kind of narrative. It was honestly a thrill of a lifetime, and there was a lot of things that hit the cutting room floor because I was very overeager. I like the big final fight scene in that story had like 3 or 4 extra panels that never made the book because it was getting too dense. It was getting a little bit too dense with activity. And Jim was like, you know what, Mike, we got to pull a few beats out of this page because it's. Are
you allowed to share those on Instagram, or are they rights to Titan?
You know what? I did probably be no problem. Although interestingly enough, when they do the collected, I know they do the collected editions of the Savage Sword every couple months or whatever. I think they're going to include. They might include my sketches, my design sketches, as part of the back matter.
Yeah, sometimes they do that at the back few pages, and they'll put in sketches in there of the artist.
Because I filled a whole sketchbook. I'm not sure how well it'll show up here.
So you're actually going to be in the next one, Volume 4, coming out.
Oh, fantastic! Okay, awesome.
Gee, I wonder why he's got those.
Now I don't know how well this is going to show up, but I basically
you can see it beautifully. Perfect.
I just started, like that right there is page 1. And I was just trying to do like little sketches of the characters. I really wanted to know the characters before I. Sorry, I'm backwards to everything here.
Right.
I wanted to get to know the characters before I started drawing them on the page. So I had some, just tons and tons of sketches, and I had to come up with the design of Aya as well, and then what the village looked like. And this is just a dirty old sketchbook that I just started filming one day with little sketches. So some of these will make it into the collector's edition, I think.
You mentioned Aya, right?
Yeah.
That's
so
incredible.
when I saw her in that book, you know what it made me want from you though?
What's that?
I want to see your interpretation of Brissa. Because I think Brissa is such an incredible character that Jim Zub created for this world, and she fits in. I love that she ties back to Brule the Spear Slayer, and that he made her like so effortlessly. He made this new character. It just fits into this whole world.
She's a fantastic bridge. She's a fantastic bridge from the old
with none of the restraints of like a Red Sonja or anything. No, there's no restraints on this character.
Yes.
She can be with Conan. She can be on her own. It doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
I've drawn her a few times on sketch covers, and I'll be honest with you. I've done her 3 or 4 times on some of those Battle for the Blackstone sketch covers. Every time I drew her, I feel like I got a little bit closer. But there's something that Robert De La Torre does that I don't know, man. And then
she is my favorite new character. I absolutely love. I can't wait for more Brissa at some point. I hope she gets her own series or mini series or something.
I will buy it. I'll buy that mini series. I think she's a marvelous character, and I think that was one of those characters too that created a bit of controversy because the very idea that Conan would ever team up with a Pict is that just was too much for some of the purists. But I love how Titan can hear all those things and be like, yeah, but we're still going this way because people are loving this.
But people saying that don't understand the character of Conan.
Yeah,
he's teamed up with many of the people who like the Asir and all these people that he's fought against. He's teamed up with individual members. Conan doesn't hold it against individual.
Yeah, he doesn't hold exactly.
If you're not at war, yeah.
No, she is a great character. I'd love a chance to draw her. Like honestly, if I ever get to work on Conan again and she's in the story, I won't be unhappy about it. Really cool character. And Cull too. Like, I'm excited about Cull coming too. I'd love to get some digs.
Cull the Conqueror. Yeah.
That was gonna be one of my questions. What Robert E. Howard character that you haven't worked on would you love to draw?
Oh,
like be hired to draw. Not that you haven't drawn them at home, but that you would like to be commissioned to draw.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's a good question. I'd love to do a dark and moody Solomon Kane for sure. I do love Cull. I do love that kind of torchlit dungeon brooding kind of vibe that you have with Cull with the crown and this and the sorrow. You know, like I love some of that kind of energy.
Brule is a favorite of mine too. Brule the Spear Slayer.
Absolutely, yeah. And you know, honestly, I'll be completely truthful. When I got the assignment for Fang and Spear, I hadn't heard of Spear and Fang. I hadn't read Spear and Fang or heard of Ganor and Aia. So for me, I was like, "Whoa, this character's 100 years old. What? Like, I've never heard of them before. How have they not been in the comic book before?" So it was really cool to. If you haven't read that, it's
it's fantastic.
It's really good. It's Spear and Fang is neat because, you know, you're talking about a Cro-Magnon man and their enemies, and that are the Neanderthals, who are a little bit lower on the food chain, you know, maybe higher on the food chain, but a little bit lower on the evolutionary scale.
Well, and I always kind of thought that's where Joe Kubert got his inspiration from for Tor.
Totally, yeah, totally.
Oh, yeah, Tor.
Yeah. And after reading it, you
my
kind of get
favorite characters, and I don't know if you've ever drawn her, and people never know who she is Dark Agnes. Those swordswoman stories are amazing. If anyone's never read them, one of the most brutal introduction stories ever. Like her intro story, and Robert E. Howard only wrote 2.5 stories. The third one was finished by another writer.
Okay.
But if you've never read The Swordswoman, incredible.
I honestly haven't, man. I was always kind of like reading the Conan stuff and a lot of the Solomon Kane stuff, but I haven't read. Honestly, I didn't know much about Sailor Steve. I didn't know much about
Steve Costian.
Yeah, such good stuff. I had no idea, so I'm kind of dabbling into that now. And the Swordswoman is definitely on the list. Like, I have a request from a fan to draw Dark Agnes one day soon, so I'll get to.
Dark Agnes is one of my all-time favorite Robert E. Howard characters, and just no one knows. Yes, see, thank you, Fandango. But if I'm telling you, man, if you read it, there's just 3 stories. If you get The Swordswoman and you read those 3 stories, you will be hooked. It's amazing.
Oh, awesome! Yeah,
like you will love the character. You will love ATN, the guy she travels with, and those 2 in the first story, like the stuff they go through. She almost kills them. That she, I don't want to spoil it. It's great. It's great. But she has a brutal beginning, which I don't want to spoil for you.
Oh, I'm excited. I thought my first introduction to her was in the Titan comics, so that was cool to meet her that way too. And I know that Fearless Fred and Andy Belanger had done a story in Savage Sword as well, which it almost had kind of a, I don't want to say it, stylistically, it was almost leaning towards almost like a bit anime sort of.
Yeah. It took me a second to get used to it, and then I loved it.
Oh, yeah.
But then they did another story with her too, and I love both of them. There was another story, another artist. And I'm glad to see all these Robert E. Howard characters getting love over there and actually seeing more of the universe being used.
Yeah.
And I can't wait till they actually do a full-on Cull story. The Solomon Kane one that they just did, Patrick Zurcher gets that character.
Yeah.
Patrick Zurcher is amazing with Solomon Kane, both writing them and drawing them.
Yep, I agree.
And he brings that whole world to life so beautifully.
Yeah, I like the history. I liked how well researched it was. I mean, I'm not a historical expert, but it felt like it all made sense, and I loved how it tied the snake people into it a little bit, and just all of that stuff was just so you really could feel with his work too. The kind of the sullenness and the quiet of Solomon Kane as a character, but then you could also feel that the humidity of that jungle. You know, you could feel all of those kind of things going on. It was great. I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it.
And what I'd love to see your art on, because you prove your sequential art with Fang and Spear, right?
Oh, thank you.
But have you ever heard of Valley of the Worm?
Yes, I have read. I read that many years ago. I've got to read it again.
Yeah, and a great adaptation too in the comics at Marvel. But I would love to see your version of Valley of the Worm.
That would be fun.
You hear me, Titan Comics?
Are they listening?
Hire Ruth for Valley of the Worm.
I'd be down. I'll be honest with you. When I got the call when I read the script that Jim sent me for Fang and Spear, I illustrators listening to this will get this. Other artists will get this. But to get to draw cavemen battling snake people in like caveman settings, which means there's no boats to draw, there's no domesticated horses to draw, there's no buildings or difficult architecture to draw. It was all just natural forms and caves and fire outside, and you know, so it was, for me, it was like it was a gift that Jim gave me that story, because it meant that I could kind of ease my way into the sequential stuff. Because like I said, it's a whole other set of muscles when you have to draw Shadowzar or something, right? Like it's a whole other thing.
But it gives you that young kid adventurous fun, right?
Oh, totally, man.
Your mind could just wander with this great adventure and just have fun with it.
Well, and getting to design the characters. Like, I mean, you know, I knew there was a bad shaman in the story, so I was like, oh, what's he going to look like? And, you know, I filled up a couple of pages in there of what he was going to look like. But, you know, I sent it off and they liked it and it all was good. But, like, where's a picture of him now? I have him in here.
Scrolling. We're scrolling. Scrolling.
So he's got kind of a shaggy head. He's got kind of so whenever I draw a comic book, I don't ever really start on the page. I kind of work out the dynamics of the scenes in the sketchbook. Like I work on all that stuff. So like, see if I can get it lined up here. That little blue figure where he's kicking, that's that kind of almost splash page where he's booting the guy into the fire after he axes him in the back. So,
yes.
So this kind of stuff, right? Where like the whole, you know, I used to work out all the action and vignettes and sort of, I have a rough idea, because the cool thing about a Jim Zub script, especially with Conan, is that he does it that kind of the Marvel style, where it's just like he doesn't tell me what he wants in each frame or even how many frames there are. He's just like, this is what happens on this page, and the important thing is this, and this is what happens on the next page, and the important thing is this, and there's got to be an emotional thing here, and then this is a big splash page. And, you know, so he left it to me to come up with all those movements.
Right, he let you be creative.
Yeah, awesome. Most of the time I'm working as an art robot. So, like, I have worked in cases where I've been told, especially when I was working for Scholastic and people like that, they would hand me an entire PDF layout right down to, like, where the dialogue boxes were going to go, where the circle panel was, where the square panel was.
Wow.
So I'd have a blank PDF, and I would just print them out, and I would just sketch over top roughly what I wanted to do, and then I would light box those and I'd go through the stages. It was always kind of boring or educational material, but you know, it was a cool way to learn how to make comics. And so doing something where I could actually, you know, I could actually just explore the space myself and figure out how I wanted to do this action. I had pulled out a scene where Ganor is giving a Snake Man a clothesline while, you know, Ania is drilling the guy through the head with her spear in the same frame. We had to pull that one. You know, the couple we had to pull just because there wasn't room. There wasn't any room.
But the reveal panel, though, when she's like, "What's wrong with you?" and then all of a sudden the spears through the back of the head. That was such a great one.
Oh, thanks, man.
And also, what really worked was the way you drew her reaction was amazing.
Thank you. Yeah.
The emotion. Yeah.
That was fun. That was really the fun, was try to get like that kind of terrified, like you've just seen your husband who wasn't your husband get murdered by your husband who is your husband. And the husband, your real husband, looks like he's been through hell. Like he's got one black eye and he's all beat up. And now he's just put a spear through the head of who you thought was your husband. And I was just trying to like, what would she be doing with her face when that was happening?
Trying to wrap her head around what the hell just happened.
Yeah. So that was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun to do that. And that scene when he's driving the spear through the guy's head, I probably drew that page 100 times or tried it from different angles, trying to get that every amount of, I wanted a broken spear and I wanted to thrust. But because you have to show the character who gets killed, you have to show him transform. I don't want to spoil it for anyone who hasn't read it yet. It's a couple months old now, but as that dead character begins to transform into his original form, I had to have a recognizable face. So, you know, I'm given the instructions, a spear is driven through his head. Well, how do you do that in a way that preserves the face? So I had it coming through his mouth because I thought worst case scenario, you know, the rest of the face, the haircut and stuff won't just be a mess, right? So, you know, these are the little things you think about, like, you know, okay, how am I going to make this work? And then how can I best showcase that action?
And I bet the other thing I thought you captured really well is, and sometimes it's hard in art where you have these two characters that are a couple. Sometimes it just feels like two characters are drawn next to each other. The characters actually felt like they had a chemistry of a couple in those panels. So they felt like they belonged together.
Well, I mean, the only thing I can blame that on would be I've been with my wife for like 26 years, so maybe there's something that just naturally came through on that, you know?
Right? Yeah, they felt like a couple working together. So you know, it wasn't like I'm going to put a character here and a character here. Hey guys, they're together. You know, it didn't feel like that. It felt natural.
Oh, I appreciate that. Well, I didn't want to go too much TNA with it either. I mean, I could have. I mean, but you know, and I was not. It wasn't like I wasn't encouraged to do that. But I wanted to keep her just looking kind of equally badass because I knew in the story she starts killing snake people too.
Oh, so she was fantastic. She was just. They had such a great chemistry on the page. It was awesome. Like these two work. You felt like they had a live long together, watching each other's backs.
Yeah, it was fun. It was a great thing. Honestly, I've heard from a few people who enjoyed that story who said, like, do you know if we're getting any more Ganor and Aya? And I'm like, well, I would love to draw some more if I'm given the chance. But
what was funny though is when I got issue 10, I was like, oh, they brought Fang and Spear back. You know, for us old readers who were like, oh, okay, who are familiar with it, they're like, wow, what a great revival.
Digger's got a question.
Yeah. Oh,
is the face the hardest part to draw?
Yeah, I think especially in comics, and that was the one area that I felt in that story that I wish if I'd had a little bit more time, I would have probably gone back and made some slight alterations because keeping a character on model throughout an entire sequence of events is tricky. With Ganor, it was easier because, you know, he's kind of like a blonde Conan prototype type character. I don't draw a lot of ladies. I draw mostly Ninja Turtles and monsters and barbarians and things. So having to draw a character that I wanted her to be beautiful, but also look real and kind of strong and you know, not be like a damsel character. I wanted her to feel like an equal. And yeah, she was tough. She gave me some challenges because I was afraid that from frame to frame, it didn't carry through the way I hoped it would. But you know, it's like anytime I hand in anything, I hate it 5 minutes after I hand it in, right?
Right. Well, you're always your own worst critic, right?
Yeah,
The saying's true.
You just hope you get another chance to like, okay, I'm gonna go in this time. I mean, I'm very proud of the work. I'm not taking away from the work, but yeah, the face is the hardest part to draw in those kinds of situations when you're trying to you know, really connect emotionally with the reader, and you really just have those little vignetted moments from here and in between action where you can connect with that face or that you know, emotional thing. So that can be the tricky part for sure.
Now, do you prefer doing cover art or sequential art?
I think for me, covers, because when I was younger, I really wanted to do, you know, I wanted to kind of tell stories with one big page. And, you know, I was a fan of like Dungeons and Dragons growing up. So I wanted to do covers like those Jeff Easley and Elmore covers. And Frazetta, obviously, you know, I got Frazetta stuff all over my studio here. So I wanted to kind of be do that kind of thing. Iron Maiden covers, you know, Motorhead covers. I wanted to do
they were fantastic.
Try to tell those kind of stories with one frame. But, you know, I ended up getting some of my early work in my career many, many years ago, before I even got into comics. I was drawing comics. I was drawing graphic novels for a school board. And
Right.
And so it was, you know, because that was very controlled work, it wasn't as enjoyable. It was just a lot of labor. It was drawing that same kid over and over again as he goes through the story. But, you know,
it's like working on a Waldo book, right?
Yeah, totally. You know, and like, and then, you know, you find out the hard way if you design a character in a way that, you know, they look great from this way, but what happens to their hat when they turn sideways? You know, like you have to draw that now. And so you got to kind of test drive things. So with a Ganor and Aya, I wanted to keep everything very, very simple. Honestly, I was mostly inspired, I think, by the Alfredo Alcala, like the first like He-Man mini comic that came with the toys, right. You know, that kind of caveman He-Man version. Before you mentioned
him,
yeah,
because one of my favorite cover artists also did a lot of work on the He-Man. That's my favorite Savage Sword of Conan cover artist, Earl Norham.
Yeah, he's my favorite too. And I'll tell you, when I did that Conan and Red Sonja cover, this is a really weird story, but Conan fans will get it. I didn't have a lot of time to do that cover. I found out about the job, and then I basically had like a 3 or 4 day window to turn it around.
Right.
And so I was working with a retailer, so I had to get the retailer's approval before I could get Dynamite to approve it, and then Dark Horse to approve it. So I had to get a lot of work done in a short amount of time. And so I knew when I did the piece, I wanted to do it like a painted style. Like I wanted to try to go for that Earl Norm vibe. So I was channeling Earl Norm with every ounce of strength I had that weekend to survive the deadline. I was awake for 36 hours straight. Painting. No time to make corrections, just paint.
Just go.
And I was channeling Earl Norm the whole time. And then didn't I find out on Monday morning that Earl had passed away that week?
Oh my gosh.
And I had this moment where I'm like, I felt like I actually siphoned his life force from the poor man. And because he was one of my all-time favorites. And I think really, fairly underrated.
He was. I always thought he should have been talked about with the biggest.
Yes,
because I mean his covers you could feel, like especially when he did the winter covers, you could feel the cold on those covers.
Oh yeah, I love the weird ones too that he did, like that one with the giant ant.
I just read that. Yeah, I just read that yesterday.
So good. It's such a weird little story. Right. That cover, it's this crazy beefy ant man with the
and Conan with the woman, and it's such a weird story too.
Yeah. It's a super weird story. Yeah, some of them are really weird. I love it. It's great.
But I think horror works great in that genre.
Oh yeah,
I think it adds a lot to it. Yeah. But yeah, I'm glad you like Earl Norm because he's just one of my unsung comic heroes.
Oh man,
he did everything fantastic. It didn't matter what property he was on; it was amazing.
Yep. His He-Man packaging stuff is so good. I mean, all of it was.
Oh yeah.
All of it was. I actually got a couple right here. I picked up the other day. They're an awesome one. Where is that?
Almost 50 covers. Wow.
I love this one. This is like issue 21.
And
it's just, it's not even got that high polish that he normally does. It feels like more of a drawing that has some paint on it as opposed to a painting.
But it's great.
But it's just got so much life, and it's just so energized, and I just love it, man. I see these things, I just have to have them. I know I probably already have them somewhere 30 years ago, but it's like I see it, it's like, oh, it's only $6. I can do this today.
I'm trying to let's see. So I'm trying to look up what cover was yours for that Conan Red Sonja #1.
Searching.
I am, because if I don't have it, I need to get it.
It needs to be ordered immediately.
1811 Comics is the name of the store. So if you did a Google search for like 1811 Comics and then plus Red Sonja Conan, it'll probably come up. I think I don't even know if I have one handy. I think I have maybe 1 or 2 copies in my archive. But it was one of my first covers. It was honestly one of my first covers. I'd done a few for Image, but like Conan, household name characters to me, like getting a chance to touch them is just an incredible thing. So when I got that call, and my friend Howard Cadmus is just an amazing dude, a philanthropist and an awesome guy, but he owns that shop, and it's and he really wanted to do a Conan cover for me. And he really, after years and years of trying to get work and hammering on doors and plaguing editors with emails that never get returned, sometimes you learn it only takes the whisper in the ear from a third party to get that, that opportunity. And then, of course, I only had 36 hours to knock it out, but I did my best.
Right. Well, no, I got to see that cover now. It's just going to bug me till I see it.
They're fighting undead Norse, kind of like veneer men or something like this. And Red Sonja's giving a guy a flying knee lift, and Conan's kind of in the foreground swinging all to one side. And, it makes me grimace a little bit because I can see all the errors now. But it was just an amazing thing to have a chance to do. And I honestly, every time I get to touch the character, I think I'm never going to get to touch them again. And I always go like, oh, well, next time maybe you'll get a chance to, to do something.
Do this. Yeah.
Yeah. Redeem this one a little bit or whatever. Right. But.
And we got another question here for you. What is the average time you are given to do a cover for a business?
So that depends. If it's for a comic book shop, they may have just found out about a deadline coming up on a retailer exclusive, and so sometimes I've had as little, like with Carlos at Gotham Central, sometimes I've only got a couple of days to knock something out. But like sometimes I'll have months and months. Like my Batman cover came out in October, and I drew it in April, and I think I had until July when it was hired, when it was the actual deadline for Batman was, but it was still before my Conan deadline. So I wanted to knock it out and get it behind me so I could just spend all my time working on Conan.
So how long did it take you to do this one?
So that was a super fast deadline, that Rook Exodus.
Yeah.
I think I found out about that on a Wednesday afternoon, and I think the artwork was essentially due on the Saturday. So on that one, I actually I got a sketch worked out the next day, and I sent Carlos like 2 or 3 sketches, and he approved the one that he liked. Image approved it. Ghost Machine approved it. And then I inked it, and then because I had another project due the same weekend, I remember there was something weird like that. I had a Turtles thing due at the same time. So I actually sent that to my buddy Danny Harrell in Alabama to do the flat coloring for me, just the flats, and then send it back to me so I could render it and make it look like one of my covers. But yeah, Danny, that was one of his first uncredited, bits of work in comics. I tried to get his name on the book, but I couldn't. But yeah, that was fun. So that was only like a 3-day turnaround. But sometimes I have lots of time. Sometimes they'll let me know months ahead that I have a cover due, 2 months down the road. Yes, Digger Jim, I do sketches at cons all the time. That's kind of my bread and butter at those shows, to be honest.
And follow him on IG to see a bunch of his cover sketches.
Yeah. There's a lot of turtle stuff. It's amazing.
And I had to stop taking commissions for a while because I just found that the balancing the freelance life of because when assignments come in for publishers, like I said, sometimes there is no time, or if there is time, the research time necessary to do the job properly is going to eat up any extra time. So I don't like anyone paying in advance for commissions and then suddenly my schedule changes and I can't get to their commission for months or months. And I hate being that guy. I hate making anyone wait for any reason. But if they've prepaid me for the piece, I hate that more than anything in the world. So now I just don't do commissions unless I'm at a show or I actually have what looks like a definitive block of time open up at home where I can actually start knocking out commissions. So I've got a couple of people, really loyal customers who've waited, in some cases, embarrassingly, a couple of years to get a commission from me. Wow. And, I always keep the communication open. I always try my best to keep that. And they know the reason they haven't got their sketch yet or their commission yet is because I need to have the freedom to give it the time it deserves rather than just knock out something quick to get it off my list,
Right.
Yeah.
But I think that's more appreciated.
Yeah, I think absolutely so, it is, because you're going to put your all into the book. It's not going to be, like you said, something quick.
I had
to work with Jason Fabok a little bit on this one.
Not at all, to be honest with you. No,
really?
I didn't get to work with those guys at all. I was given a ton of his beautiful drawings to reference for the because the helmets those characters in those comics are very complex, and I wanted to make sure I did them justice. And so the first time I met Jason was actually at that signing at Gotham Central.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. So I'd seen him at shows for years, and his Batman and Joker stuff was so great, and I love I love that one shot Swamp Thing winter story he did. I thought.
Oh that thing was phenomenal. Really I like the 3 Jokers; those were great covers.
Yeah, they were neat. Yeah, all that. He's got a really clean, very very well controlled, really good style. But yeah, he's a very nice guy. That was the first time I met him.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hopefully, you do some more work for the Ghost Machine in the future.
Oh, I'd love to. Their characters are brilliant. Geiger. Oh man, give me a piece of Geiger.
Yeah. Do you have a dream collaboration that you've always wanted to do, whether it's with a writer or another artist?
Oh man, that's a hard one to answer because I think so. For many years, Fearless Fred Kennedy, he's been a buddy of mine for quite a long time. We are both Conan fans first and Conan professionals second. And the fact that he's gotten to write a Conan story that he did with our friend Marco Rudy was brilliant. But for years and years and years, Fred and I have had a Conan story cooking up. But it's been one of those funny things where, it was Conan and Predator. But when we first came up with it, they were owned by different companies. And then there was a minute when there was like an eclipse when they were both together at Marvel, and then they did
apart again, huh?
I thought it was a banging story. But
I was gonna say, like a Predator could be a natural in the Conan world because they could be anywhere, right?
I'll give you the quick synopsis of the story. Basically, it was just a one shot. And in the opening scene, it's very basic, but in the opening scenes, like an Aquilonian, maybe not Aquilonian, but like, yeah, we'll say Aquilonian, military caravan is heading back to Tarantia. And they have in a wagon, a cage on wheels, is a young Conan. And he's all scuffed up and he's handcuffed inside this cage. And, they're, off they go. And they're heading towards Tarantia, or they're heading towards the capital city where he's going to be a prisoner. And a damaged predator ship, comes into the atmosphere and it's unstable and it ends up kind of crashing. And someone in the caravan looks and they see a shooting star, but they see that it's actually struck the ground. And so the commanding officer points 3 or 4 guys and just says, "Go check it out. We're going to take this guy. We're going to take this guy in." And they're heading this way. And then the other guys ride off to the wreckage. And when they ride to the wreckage, the predator's getting out of his ship and he sees these hostile forces coming towards him. So he pulls out, his laser cannons and just blasts them all out. And then he sees, and he just evaporates them, and he realizes that they're more primitive people. Like, this is a different, he is so far advanced from their technology.
Right, it's not sporting.
Yeah, so, and then in the distance, I had him fire a couple of rockets at the caravan, and one of them causes the caravan to disperse, but one of them damages Conan's cage, and he's able to be freed. And in that moment, the predator, who's kind of got a damaged suit as well, he's kind of spacing in and out of physical, being able to, like, he's in and out of
invisibility. Yeah.
So he's observing while Conan, who's like a crazed wolf at this point, he's burst his bonds, and now he's killing all these soldiers to try to make his escape. And the predator's basically like, yeah,
that's the dude.
That's the guy I need to hunt.
That's the one that I want. And so he goes back to his ship, and he opens up his ship, and the ship goes into self-repair mode. And he basically, you see him put down all of his weapons, and then he looks over and he picks up like a short sword, and he picks up like a spear, and then the hunt is on. And then, we had a really cool story where Conan, like, he's injured from the explosion, but he still has manacles on his legs, so he's limited in how fast he can go. And we had all these kind of handicaps put on Conan so that it would be, the predator's still watching him lethally do all these things, and then eventually they have their showdown. But
what's great too is, like, that story, the way you describe it, shows the sportsmanship of the predator.
Yeah, that's what it was all about for me. Is like, I wanted to be, the predator has,
because he could just shoot them all from far away if he wasn't a sportsman.
Oh, he could have wiped them all out, and then just sat there and waited for a ship to rebuild itself, right? But no, I wanted him to have something to do while he was waiting for a ship to repair. And so
sounds like a new movie.
So you're a Predator fan, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I love those.
What'd you think about Badlands? Yeah. Did you see it?
I did. Is that the new one? The new one?
Yes.
I haven't seen that one yet. No, I've been saving that one.
Okay.
I saw the animated one from a couple of months ago.
Yeah, that was good. Did you stay for the after credits?
Oh, maybe. Was there, like, is that the shot inside the ship and you see a different? And
you see some characters in tubes?
Yeah. That was awesome. Yeah,
I don't want to give anything away.
Yeah, I know.
Spoilers.
Badlands you'll like.
Yeah, I'm excited about that one. I love the actress in that. She played she was in Catherine the Great in that series, The Great. My wife's a big fan of that show I think it was on Netflix. So yeah, I think it's going to be cool. I'm excited to see that one. Yeah,
it is a good show. It was a good movie.
Yeah,
it reminded me of a little bit like Prey.
Oh, I love that one too. That was a lot of fun. Yeah, that was good stuff. Yeah, I just, I think the only thing we kind of got ripped off on was a really good Predators versus Aliens. And I think it's because no one wanted to take the risk and actually have two species that don't speak English, that don't speak anything, in conflict.
Oh, we got to put humans in it and have a
story.
Yeah.
Always. I think they could have had more faith in this, though. And they could have let the fans of those movies watch something that's just deadly and silent and effective in storytelling. Without, I always, you don't need words. You don't need words.
You don't always need them.
Well, once you see Badlands, you'll see that the language is being developed now, so that could happen now.
Oh, interesting.
And
okay.
And you have to think that all the advanced technology they have a language. Obviously, they understand things. But they have spaceships which are high tech. But yeah, it's good.
Yeah, I'll check it out.
You know what it is? It's like the first hour you're watching, like, okay. And then the last hour is all payoff, and you see how everything ties together, and they're like, oh, Oh, and then you really start to super dig it.
Oh, right on. That sounds good. Yeah, I imagine that's available on one of the streaming services by now, right? Or,
oh God, yeah.
Prime or something like that, maybe. Yeah.
With I don't know, just with the Aliens or Predator. Yeah, you don't. I mean, look at the movie. I don't know if you ever saw Headhunter. There wasn't a lot of dialogue in that, and that's a great movie.
Headhunter.
That's a great movie. There's not a lot. There's hardly any dialogue.
I love that movie. And you know what? It's one of those. I used to be during the pandemic. We used to get together once a week and go live with a bunch of our friends, and we'd sometimes sketch or draw, or we'd give each other assignments to watch movies.
Right.
And I knew Headhunter was coming, and just the look of the initial thumbnail that I saw, I was like, "Yep, that looks exactly like my D&D character. I have to watch this movie." And then the premise is just so good. Yes. And then I watched it kind of like semi-scrambled because the channel I was getting was kind of sketchy. But I watched it and it was like the subtitles were slow, like my streaming was my Canadian internet was weak, but, oh my God, I love that movie. And then I sent it to the group to watch. And the host of the group, my buddy Stefan, who's actually one of my editors at Aftershock Comics, we spent that week session and he tore that movie apart and broke my heart at the same time.
Oh my God.
I love that movie. I want to own it. I haven't been able to find it. And all the streaming services up here say it's unavailable right now.
Really? You have Vudu? Because I own it on Vudu.
Oh, I don't have that. No.
Or Fandango, it's called now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've got to look into it. I got like Netflix.
That and another one of my guilty pleasure ones for that kind of genre is Pathfinder with Carl Urban and Moon Bloodgood.
So good. Yeah.
And that's underrated. People don't appreciate that movie, and that movie's great. Oh, and one of my favorite character actors in that one too, Clancy Brown, the Kurgan.
Unbelievable. He's so good.
Clancy Brown is great in everything he's in.
Yep. Break down to Mr. Krabs, man. He's amazing. Yep. He's fantastic. He's fantastic.
Oh, he's just one of those. Him and I think two of my favorite all-time character actors are him and Ron Perlman.
Yep, I agree.
There's nothing. Anytime I see them, I 100% enjoy them.
I was obsessed with that Beauty and the Beast show when I was a kid.
Yeah,
because it was the closest thing to a werewolf movie or an Incredible Hulk kind of TV show that we had at that time. Oh, I was obsessed, and I had a crazy crush on Linda Hamilton as well because of the Terminator, But oh man, I love that show.
I was a faithful watcher of it too. I watched all 3 seasons.
Yeah,
didn't miss a show when it came on.
I thought he looked great. I thought it was wicked. It was great.
You can get
gave you just enough. Gave you just enough of everything.
You can get the Headhunter at Walmart. It's online. You can order it $31.
Okay, I'm on
Walmart CA.
Oh, that's beautiful. Oh, I'm getting that today.
Have you seen it, Steve?
No, actually, I haven't seen this.
And, you might want to beat Mike for that copy. It's a pretty damn good watch.
It does look good. Like I was looking at the preview thing here. It looks pretty wild.
In comics, Mike, homages are a big deal. Yeah. People homage everything. If you could homage any Conan cover in your art style, what cover would you homage?
Oh, wow. What a great question. Oh, man, there's been so many awesome covers. I did a lot of homage covers. I'm not going to lie. When I was in high school, I aped a ton of Joe Jusko stuff. Like, there's that one, I can't remember what issue it is, Savage Sword. It's a big close-up of Conan, full figure.
Yep.
He takes up the whole thing. He's kind of on a lean, and he's got an axe in one hand, and the shield is up.
Oh, I know that one.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite images of Conan ever. In fact, whenever I draw Conan, that one is like in my brain Rolodex of how to draw Conan. Like that to me is like, so, but that one will be a tough one to homage because I wouldn't be able to do as good as Joe. And, but there's a million great covers out there. Yeah. What would be a good one? Oh man, that's a really, you kind of hung me on that one, man. There's a million Conan covers that I'd love to do. What a great question. Yeah, my hat's off to you.
Are you talking? You're talking about this, right?
Oh.
That's the one. Yeah,
there it is. Yeah,
that's the one. And I've seen, that one. There's an icy background. I thought I saw one where I think maybe it was the Spanish edition where it's just him on a white background, and there was sort of I can't remember exactly. Yeah.
Well, I think sometimes they edit out the snow and it's just the one.
Yeah. So I did a version of that painting in high school that was 6 foot high on a canvas. Only I changed them all up so he looked like they basically look like my D&D character. I played a kind of a Viking berserker called Thorfinn Stormlord was my guy's name, and so I did lots of paintings of him in my final year of high school, and I don't think anyone caught on that I was just straight aping Joe Jusko.
I think a lot of us had barbarian characters when we played D&D.
Oh yeah,
one of the easiest ones to play.
Yep. Powerful and
and when I played Diablo, the video game, I always had to be the barbarian character.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I was like, no, I see the cool mage, I see the archer. Screw those guys. I want my sword or my axe, and we're going to it.
I love it. Yep. Yeah, it was good stuff. I miss playing D&D. I honestly, it was a huge part of,
too.
I've never played it in my life.
Really? Yeah. Holy crap, man. There's like online games and stuff. Trev the Shipping Guru was on a group and he wanted me to join them, and I might actually do it.
I used to play in high school, before high school too. I used to play the TMNT role-playing game too, which was where I used to get, it was an excellent system, the Palladium system. But the last time I played D&D was, I had never played 5th edition D&D, which is so different from the second edition stuff that I played in high school.
Yeah, that was me too.
A whole different game. Like, everyone's got powers and everyone uses magic, and it's a whole different thing. But
there's different classes too. There's all these weird classes that they have now.
Yeah,
like strategist and like, fuck, what are these guys like? Yeah. Give me the basic ones, right? Give me
I really love those all those Steve Jackson, Ian Livingston books too, like the fighting fantasy books. Like Jim and I kind of bonded a little bit over that one night over a couple of pints, talking about how much we love those books and how formative they were in our, creative, like our journey as storytellers and artists,
Yeah.
All those things tied together for me, though. That was all,
Did you ever read any of the Forgotten Realms books back in the day?
Oh yeah. I read all the Icewind Dale trilogies.
Yeah.
I took the Drizzt O'Durden stuff. I took all the way to I think I made it as far as the Orc King or 10,000 Orcs.
Yes, that was towards the end there. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I just kind of life just gets in the way. But there were some great books there. I have great stories there. Richard A. Knack, I loved all that stuff he did with Dragonlance, Legend of Huma, and Kaz the Minotaur. That was all very fun. I mean, so much of it too is the covers, right? Again, it comes back to being a cover.
The cover art on these books is incredible. I have
Jeff Easley is so good. Everything he does is so good, and I just those are my heroes. Those guys,
Now we've asked you about cover art.
Mm-hmm.
If you could do sequential art of any story out there, get hired to do it, which story would you like to throw the towel in for and do your pencils for sequential art and do that comic?
Honestly, it would be. I've always wanted to draw the thing. Ben Grimm is my favorite character of all time. Like as much as I love Conan, Ben Grimm is my number one. When I was a kid, I loved Marvel 2-in-1, but I loved the Thing solo series because he, there was the time he was in Secret Wars and kind of space adventure stuff, and they had a little bit of those books felt like Conan stories too, because
that series went everywhere with him.
Yeah, because it was
a great series.
And there were some of them really felt like Conan stories, like they were more medieval. His girlfriend, was like basically a female kind of paladin warrior, and there was a lot of cool things like that. And then he gets back to Earth, and his best friend's sleeping with his girlfriend. He's heartbroken, and he quits the team, and then he becomes a pro wrestler. Like, it was a book that was made for me. And so I would love to do a Ben Grimm wrestling story if I had a chance to.
And the 2-in-1 crossed over with another series that only lasted 8 issues that I loved, and then it ended in 2-in-1, and that was Skull the Slayer.
Oh, God, so good.
God.
That was really good.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have all the issues over there, plus they did a trade of it, which I got.
Oh,
but I mean, again, it ended in 2-in-1. Ben Grimm played a major part in that for a little bit for 3 issues.
Yeah, that's awesome. No, whenever Ben showed up in anything, like even the West Coast Avengers, like it didn't matter. Like I'm one of those guys that would follow a character around no matter who was working with them. So I have a lot of just random stray appearances in my collection.
Now you should do a Ben Grimm like that Jusko, except instead of Conan, it's Ben Grimm.
I've done a couple of Conan, and I've done like my own kind of Hyborian.
I saw it on your Instagram. It was amazing. If you guys
on the,
haven't seen it, go check it out on Instagram. That thing is beautiful.
I had a couple of things when Conan was at Marvel. There was a moment in time when it looked like I was going to have a couple of Marvel covers lined up, and Conan was one. I'd spoken to a bunch of retailers and a bunch of people who all were on board to do a Conan book with me. And I won't go into the reasons as to why it didn't happen, because it was kind of strange and unfair, but it never happened. But during that time, I had done a bunch of drawings, and I did one that was Conan fighting the Thing. And you know, the Thing is like kind of throwing a punch and Conan's avoiding it. And Conan's axe has just bounced off the Thing's shoulder and the axe is breaking and there's a couple of rocks flying. And it was just a very dynamic pose where one's kind of in front of the other. And it never happened. But it would have been a banger of a cover. I may draw it. I still got the pencil somewhere, but I
imagine if you could do that as a what if story.
Oh, it'd be amazing. Yeah. And I just would love to do that kind of thing. Like I'd love to do maybe a secret battle world planet from when Ben was left behind on the Secret Wars planet, and you know, some Conan-esque adventure that took place there with the strange monsters and things that he encounters.
Well, and Ben is just such a relatable character.
Oh yeah. I mean, for me, you know, being a kid, it was kind of like a heavy kid with red hair, like getting picked on a lot at school. No matter what happened, I knew somewhere out there Ben Grimm was probably having a worse day than I was.
Right.
So, you know, he became kind of a very important like avatar for me in a lot of ways before I even knew what that word meant, you know. Thing I really
you always wanted to root for him.
Yeah, you know, easy guy to cheer for. And there's a couple of Thing comics that break my heart to this day. Like there's one, I believe it's issue 4 of the Thing series. And it's just a heartbreaker story where it's about this poor mutated kid getting picked on by people, and you know, eventually, you know, it's almost like a Frankenstein kind of story where the monster becomes beloved, but then the people that hate things they don't understand ends up killing the kid or almost killing the kid. It kills the kid's mother, and then the Thing, you know, has to like help this little creature that's a misfit, and ends up sending him off to live with the Inhumans. And sends him home with Lockjaw. And that comic will bring me to tears every time I read it, because there's just something so raw and personal about the things.
You're gonna make me reread it because
it's really good. It's really, really good, man. I loved all that stuff. Yeah.
That Thing series was a strong series. If people haven't read it, that is a really good series.
It ended really weird. I hated how it ended. It kind of had a train crash ending that to me didn't make a lot of sense, and I always wondered if it was tied into something I didn't read, like if there was a weird crossover that happened that I was unaware of. But it was just so consistently good, and then the last couple of issues it just kind of nosedived, and I don't know. Oh yeah, yeah, that's from the Wayside. That's a great shop out in Newmarket. Too far.
That's a great shot. I like that one.
That one's hanging up in the shop behind the bar. So
sweet.
Yeah.
Now we've been going for an hour and 50 minutes. We'll wrap it up here in a few minutes to keep this watchable. But Mike, are there any upcoming projects that you want to talk about or promote while you're here and have the space?
Well, a couple of things a couple of things I worked on a few months ago are going to be coming out in the early new year. So if there's any Vampirella fans out there, Vampirella has a winter special that they do every year. And so I've done one for the 2026, which will be out in January. And that was one of those things where work had kind of slowed down. I didn't really have, wasn't a lot of work suddenly. It went from being super, super busy to nothing. And then the postal strike happened up here.
Oh,
and
I know. That was ridiculous.
I went into a panic, and I'm like, I reached out to every art director, every editor I've ever worked with in comics, just to like throw in a lifeline, like, hey, I'd love to have some work that didn't require me to rely on the mail. And I happened to catch a live one at Dynamite, and my editor there was like, "Yeah, you know what? Your timing is good. Can you do a Vampirella cover for me within the week?" And so I knocked that one out. So that one actually ended up becoming the A cover for the series, which I didn't know.
Sweet.
Wow.
So if you look up,
how great is that?
Yeah, it was a nice thrill, man, because I was not expecting that. I mean, anytime again I get to work directly with the publisher, and I know that book's going to show up in previews or it's going to show up whatever. So if you look up Vampirella Winter Special 2026, you'll see a snowman carrying Vampirella, and that's my painting. And that one's coming out in January.
I'm gonna look on League of Comic Geeks and order it if I.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. It's gonna be in every shop, which is great. Like that's always a good feeling. And then I did one for Dark Horse recently for Magic the Gathering. They have a series about it's called the Untold Stories series, and they're doing one with Jace, one of the Planeswalkers. I don't know anything about Magic, so I had to do a lot of research, but I had fun doing a painting for that. That's out in March. But in the meantime, I'm just kind of digging into my old commissions list and kind of working on, developing a couple of things of my own. I think that's the way forward for me, is to come up with my own stories and do a creator-owned book or something like that of my own. I have a million ideas. Yeah, that's the one. There she is. Yeah, that was a fun piece. So that should be available at anyone's local comic shop. They made that one the A cover, which was a really nice honor. I wasn't expecting that at all. That's kind
pretty
of
cool.
Oh, and you have a version of it too.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, they do that sometimes. I did a Purgatory cover last year, and they had done that as well, which was
there.
fun.
I just put it on my poll.
Oh yeah, there you go. Sweet, right on, man.
Well, I got to pick on you because there's a property coming up that I've always wanted to see get adapted into comics, and in all its history, it never has. And it's one of my favorite cartoon series ever. It's Thundar the Barbarian.
It is my all-time favorite cartoon, Thundar the Barbarian.
Yes, I love Thundar.
That comic book, or that cartoon,
so great.
It's funny. This is going to sound ridiculous, but when I was a kid in school, and the teacher would ask what we wanted to be when we grew up, I used to say Oopla the Mock.
Oh, yeah.
And they didn't know what I meant. But like, I have this, as you know, I love the Ben Grimm, so I have a thing for big orange monsters. And there was something about Oopla the Mock that I just loved. Thundar was so great because it predates He-Man, and it obviously pulls a lot from Conan and Sword and Sorcery. Right. But it pulls a little bit from Star Wars.
Yes, with the Sun Sword.
And all these wonderful things that were happening at that time. Like Star Wars was the hottest thing in the universe in 1981. And I get to watch Thundar every morning, every Saturday morning with my brother.
It was such a great series. And it went out at #1 because of all that Nancy Reagan stuff. And cartoons have to have a message. You can't tell your own stories anymore without putting something in it.
And knowing is half the battle.
I have the Blu-rays. I watch them all the time.
It's so good.
Honestly, it was. And when I knew the comic was coming, I knew since last year the comic was coming. I have exhausted every resource in my life to try to make that cover happen. I wanted to do a cover. I saw that Michael Cho's doing one, and there's a bunch of great artists like Michael Joseph Lisner's doing one.
Yep.
And Jason Aaron's writing it. And the interior art looks pretty damn good.
It does.
I can't think of the fella's name, but that is my ultimate heartbreak. But I got to do Conan stuff this year. I got to do an interior story. I got to do Batman. I did
Batman.
So I can't be too greedy. But I got to tell you, like Thundar is so huge.
Yeah.
For me personally.
The thing is, they'll probably do more than one series of it, so you'll get.
I hope so. I reached out to I literally threw a grappling hook up the wall at the editor of that series, and I didn't beg, but I was like, listen, you gotta just give me a shot. I don't care what. I want to just touch that property for a minute. And I never heard anything back. But
persistence.
There was a couple of stores that were keen on the idea of doing it, of a variant cover, retail exclusive. But the minimum print order on that book is very high, and selling 1,000 copies of anything is tough unless you're selling an individual grains of rice. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it was tough to find anyone willing to team up. If I could have got 3 stores to team up, it could have happened. But I had 2. But yeah. It's it wasn't in the cards. So I'm going to.
It's been a great night, though. We both love Headhunter. We both love Thundar the Barbarian. Yeah,
it's kind of bizarre.
Earl Norham's our favorite Savage Sword of Conan cover artist. I mean, come on.
We're all dog brothers, man. We're all dog brothers in the end, right? Like,
right?
Yeah, for
Such
sure.
great stuff. All right, so the Vampirella, if you guys haven't ordered it, go on League of Comic Geeks or just go to your LCS and get it on your pull list.
And I don't want to spoil anything because I don't have anything in confirmation, but I have heard from people that actually know what they're talking about that there might be some more Conan stuff in my future. I don't want to jinx it and say I have no idea what it is, when, or how, but I think I don't know. I have a feeling, and I've been more or less given a, yep, you just sit tight, man. Something's gonna happen.
Mike's Spidey senses tingling.
Yeah, so my Hyborian senses are tingling.
And once you get confirmation of that and you can talk about it, we will, of course, invite you back on if you're interested. And
of course.
about it.
And it's funny. This whole time I've had a pile of drawing material over here because I was going to draw for you guys. Next time I'll come on, we'll just draw. You don't need to see my face on the screen. You can just watch me draw while I shoot the breeze with you about Conan. But I'll show you what I was going to do. I'll just switch over my camera just for a sec here. If I can. Maybe I can't. Oh, yeah, there it is. Okay. So I had some other Conan stuff here. I was going to mention quickly. I did an Hour of the Dragon cover as well for Ablaze.
Look at that. Oh.
Nice.
I have some of those. And I did, this is a Red Sonja. This is Sonja Versal. This was that weird series where there's like a blue Sonja and a green Sonja. And a
right.
Sonja.
I have that series.
Yeah, it was fun. This is a Red Sonja cover I did. Exclusive with my buddy Danny Harold, did the colors on that. This is my Conan number 25 exclusive from Dungeon Comics, which is my local shop up here in Oakville. And then, of course, this is my my Savage Sword number 7. And then this is my Savage Sword number 10, which has Fang and Spear, but it also is a sketch cover. And so I had worked out a couple of light sketches. This one's going to be Conan killing some snake people. So I will do it. I'll finish this drawing up and get a time lapse of it, and I'll share it with you guys. You can play it on your IG feed if you want. But next time I'll do some drawing with you guys, and
that'd be cool.
We can talk about Conan while you watch me make one on the stage. So, yeah.
This was so much fun, Mike. It was such a pleasure to meet you, man. This was such a great talk.
Thanks, man. Pleasure's mine. Honestly, everyone spoke so highly of your show, and I watched a couple episodes today, ahead of the show today, and it's totally my vibe. But a nice surprise is Headhunter. Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Headhunter. It's just amazing to meet someone else who's not only seen that movie but loves that movie.
Now I gotta watch it. I'm gonna watch it tomorrow.
Oh, you got it. I'm ordering one right now if I can.
Yeah, I saw it on there. I'm like, hey, okay. Click.
Right now, Steve, you're not in the cool kids club.
That's okay. I'll just sit all back of the bus and watch the cool kids do their thing.
Thank you guys so much. Well, Mike, man, I hope in the future you will come back and hang out with us.
Anytime, man. Anytime. It's been a real pleasure.
This was just so much fun, man. It was just great to meet you. And the thing I love about doing these shows is I get to meet new people like you guys. And, I mean, I met Steve through doing these shows, and he became a co-host, and we became great friends. This is why I'm on YouTube.
Awesome.
I'm not, you get to hang out with like-minded people, right? That share your nerddom, that share the same things you love, and it's just great. And occasionally I get to meet great creators like you. I've had Jim Zub on. I had Jeff Isherwood on.
Oh, Jeff, right on. Excellent guy. Love
great interview with him too. We had a lot of fun. So hopefully I'll get some more of you Conan guys on. Hopefully one day we can get you all on together, which would be a miracle.
Oh my God.
That'd be a lot of fun.
You're going to have to block some time, man, because Jim Zub can talk.
He can. But I just want to thank you so much for coming on.
Man. Thank you.
It's a pleasure.
Honestly, that was a lot of fun. I really look forward to it, and it was exactly as awesome as I thought it would be. So we'll see you next time for sure, man.
Oh, yes. And as I like to end these things, Steve, thanks, man. I always appreciate you being here as a co-host.
No problem, my brother.
No show without a great guest. Again, a great big shout out to Mike Rooth for being kind enough to set time out of his day and away from his wife to spend time with us. Thank you so much. And to all of you who are watching us live, we appreciate it. And if you're catching us on the rewind, go into the description. Check out the links below. There's 3 links there for Mike Rooth. There's his Instagram. Oh, no, there's his Threads. There's his Facebook. There's his Big Cartel link. Go give him a follow on all those links. Especially go to his Big Cartel and see what he's got for sale there before it's all gone.
Well, as everyone listening, if you want, I got a promo code going right now. The promo code is CROM, CROM, and you'll get 25% off any original art in my store. And if you use the code DOGBROTHER, you get 10% or 20%, something like that, off of my comics that I have available there.
And you know what's so funny? You gave me that code, and I was so excited to order that book. I forgot to use it.
Oh,
When I saw your order come in, I'm like, he didn't even use the code. Oh my god!
I was so excited to get it. That's how excited I was to get that cover. I totally forgot to use the code.
I'll send you extra goodies next time to make up for that. Don't you worry.
It doesn't matter. I'm just happy to get the book.
They'll be there soon.
totally worth it.
We're tracking
Got to
them.
support them. Support them.
Right. So,
Appreciate
of course,
that, guys.
thank you guys so much. We will, of course, invite Mike back on. We look forward to all the great things you have coming up. And if anyone out there who is Thundar related is looking for a great artist, you better hire Mike and get a cover done because all of us will buy it. All right. And until next time, you guys know how I like to end this thing. We're going to say, keep it casual.
Cheers, guys. Thank you.